progress has been made on the van. Let me show you something. I figured out my electrical, well, the brains of the operation. Got a nice little air conditioning in here. Got my fans hooked up. They're spinning. Got a nice little breeze going through it. I just hooked up the fans and I've just been running them for the past couple hours just to make sure all my electrical is working properly. And I still got 27.2 volts coming off these batteries, with 34 volts being generated from my solar panels. So it's basically not even using any energy. I'll show you how that'll be in a later video. I'll talk about that later. This video, I decided to do some vinyl panels. I know in my last video I showed you the walnut panels and said this is what I'm gonna do, but hear me out. Now I knew this outdoor shower was gonna be facing this. I know it's a walnut panel, so I was just gonna put some polyurethane on it, waterproof it, and make sure it was nice and sealed. And if water got on it, no big deal. I forgot that I was going to add this, which is on there. Needs to be a two-handed operation. But this is a little pad for taking a shower outside so you don't have to step on the nasty ground. Well, because this is going to be watered on and this is going to go back onto this panel, I didn't want to have any water from that getting on my walnut panel and over time kind of warping it or making its way into the wood. So I chose to do vinyl. It just completed the look. Still got to do that panel because I found a new way to fasten these panels that I completely forgot about that I will show you. So this is a little French cleat on the back side of this. I put a little French cleat that is flush with that piece, so when it lays on the ground, you know, it doesn't wobble, it lays flat. And it takes two hands to put it back on there, but it's a pretty good pressure fit to fit right back into this little space, like so. And also, I was able to attach these middle panels with the screws that hold the French cleat on. I just screwed it directly through that PVC French cleat in my last video. You'll have to look back at that to know how I attached that, and I just screwed right through that, and it holds this panel to the door very securely. Over here, I hid screws behind these little hanger doodad things. And this panel is on there securely. Of course, remember I insulated the back side of this, insulated up there, insulated behind all this stuff. As you can see, there's insulation sticking out. But I'll show you a new way besides that Velcro to attach these panels. And I already showed you how to upholster these panels. The same process went for the middle one, except when I was making the template for this space, because it wasn't inset kind of like this one, it's very gradual, kind of like that. It was a little more tricky, but I taped a border around it, and then I taped a sheet of paper, and I pulled the paper pretty tight and then taped on top of the paper to hold the tape to the tape that was attached to this, and then I traced out as best as I could, equal distant with a pencil, a line around this border, and then I just cut out the panel. And a couple spots I had to trim a little bit more away to make it fit properly in there, but same process, for this, upholstering it. I used that cotton roll and then vinyl on top of it, nailed it from the back. So I found this company called Sailrite, and they specialize in sailing equipment. It's like sailing fabrics, sailing upholstery, sailing ropes, sailing everything. And what I found was these neat little clips that screw on to a panel, and then this screws on to your other panel and then fits in there like so. Here you go, like so. And see, when they're together, the panels pretty much, focus on it, are, I don't know why it's not, are flush. There you go. See how flush they are? And what I did was I cut off this little nub that didn't have any purpose, and then I sanded it so then I can screw this side panel. And let me just take one off and show you to get a better idea. All you gotta do is pop them off. So that side goes in like that, and then these I screwed into the panels like so. And here you could see my initial idea of putting magnets on there. Didn't work too well. But now, it just pressure fits right onto there. It doesn't stick out as much as the Velcro made it stick out. It's also more secure. And when I put 3M tape up here to hold on my panels, and I'm referencing back to my previous how to install a panel video, so if you're not understanding what I'm saying, go watch that one first. But I put 3M tape on there, and it's been so hot outside that it just melted the 3M tape and the panels just kept falling off. So I had to come up with a new solution. And these, I bought these before I even knew what I was going to do with the van, just because I knew I wanted to have seamless attachments. I didn't want to see any screws anywhere. And I'm going to do it, same thing, on my ceiling. But I'll leave a link in the description for these little doodads, and I'll show you how I attached these. And the reason I didn't put the panels on initially with these little things is because I completely forgot about these, and as I was going through my pile of stuff that I have accumulated for the van when I was doing my electrical, I came across these and I was like, oh, that's how I'll attach the panels. So that's why these weren't on there initially. So let me show you what I do. A 1/2-inch hole with a step-up bit. It's a lot easier to drill the metal with this, and it keeps it pretty centered. To fit that in there, and then I just mark my hole placement with a little Sharpie. And I just cut off the little tip, so when the panel's on there, you won't see it stick out at the top. And I take a little metal pick and hammer little indentions into all of my marks, so I have a guide for a 1/16 inch drill bit. And if you saw that green stuff on my little panels, just got some paint, and I put it on there like that around that hole, and that way when I put my panel up there, it'll mark out the location for the other piece to fit into it. It's hard to tell, but you can kind of tell where the flat part of it is compared to that. Just gives me a good reference point to screw the other piece. I cut off the tops of those ones too. And voila, there you go. It's pretty low profile. Doesn't stick out too bad. And on there. Very secure. And if you're still wondering, still 27.2 volts in these batteries. Hasn't used any energy. These fans have been going the entire time. Probably took me an hour to do all those panels and to film everything while doing it. And there's clouds all over the sky. You can't even see the sky. No sun. Solar panels are still pulling 34 volts. I'll be interested to see what they pull when it's actually sunny outside. Well, this will be in my next video, just a walkthrough of everything, and that's it for the panels. Hope that helped. That's it. See you later.